Hey, Sick Boy from the Gaming House Collective, and welcome to the Anarchic Live for the 27th of March 2013. Now, some of this stuff is a little bit behind because last week I did a long video, and unfortunately the sound didn't sync up about halfway through, so I decided to scrap it. So I'm going to cover a few bits here, but mostly I'm going to go straight onto the current stuff because, hell, news moves fast. Right, the main bit of news here is just come out yesterday. Square-enix. Now, they've just announced a massive loss. They've said that everything is going terribly, a massive restructuring. Yoichi Wada, their CEO, has just been dismissed. That is the second major company's CEO lost in as many weeks. That is insane shit right there. Now, where I have the genuine problem here, now, this shows just how fucked and broken Square-enix's business model is. Because they claimed there were terrible Western sales of their games, their AAA titles, noting Sleeping Dogs, Hitman Absolution, and Tomb Raider as poor sales. Now, just I've got the data here for the sales. These are the disc sales, by the way. None of this is digital distribution, disc sales, okay? Sleeping Dogs, released in August last year, sold 1.75 million units. Now, considering that that is a resurrection of a true crime. Now, most people who've only started gaming in the last decade wouldn't even know what the hell true crime was. I thought it was a fun enough game. It was okay. It was solid. It had its faults, but it was fine. And I have a copy. I don't see why it's a failure at 1.75 million. Really? I mean, that's a shite sight more than DMC Devil May Cry sold. I mean, granted, that was a failure, but you know, it sold double that, really. We'll see what the final sales figures are when Capcom announced. But anyway, Hitman Absolution. Released only in November, so this is only 5 months. Granted, most of their sales do happen in the first month. So, Hitman Absolution, 3.6 million sales. Another failure. Okay. Tomb Raider, which only came out a couple of weeks ago, which again, I'm really enjoyed. A bit easy, I'll give you that. It's definitely a bit easy. I would like to see more of it, but as a game, I've enjoyed it. Tomb Raider, 3.4 million. 3.4 million, that is a disappointing sale. 3.4 million units in a few weeks. Are you kidding me? 3.4 million units. This whole I need 5 million units bullshit needs to fucking stop. Gaming industry, look at what the hell you're doing. What the hell are you doing? Now, Square-enix, now I've liked a lot of your games, but you are up there as absolute bastards with regards to DLC. You're shoveling shitty Final Fantasy sequels that no fucker wants. And incidentally, it appears that Final Fantasy Versus 13, that everybody, I've been waiting for it for years. Turns out, it's probably going to be Final Fantasy 15. Now, that's what it's going to be. So rather than an interesting spin-off, that's it. It's going to be the next Final Fantasy single-player game. 14 being online. Square-enix, you need to sort your shit out. Ever since Square-enix as a company formed, you have been struggling so badly. Ever since you've put... I can't remember how much money you put into the Final Fantasy, the Spirits Within movie, that tanked. You guys have been struggling to reach the acclaim that your past history suggests you deserve. And this is basically, it just shows your predictions, your projections, your business model is wholly unrealistic, and frankly, it's fucking stupid. You haven't met your targets, and you've thrown the toys out of the pram. Restructured. Now, restructuring, for those who aren't in the business world, restructuring just means fire fuckloads of people. That's what that means. Sacked your CEO on the grounds that you didn't make magic money happen. That money doesn't... 3.6 million is good sales for a couple of weeks. If you think that's a failure, you have been putting your money totally in the wrong place. This is a fact that your business model is wrong. Because you're not going to make any more sales than that on your games. Really? Those are healthy sales. Should be happy with that. That is an appropriate level of sales. Jesus Christ. You know, another one bites the dust. Right, while we're on with twats. Dear. Richard Garriott, the Lord British, the developer behind Ultima. Now, he's come out and he's said something interesting that I do agree with, yet he's made a complete and utter toss-bag of himself at the same time. He's basically said game designers are shit. Mainly because the actual job as a game designer is something that people fall into. They don't really train to be a specific game designer. He brought up specific people like Peter Molyneux as a game designer, as an expert in game design. Mind you, if you go by Fable 3, not really. Was it his genius idea to have you quick travel with a load screen to another place, and then quick travel, then go through a door for another loading screen in order to change your hair colour? What the fuck was that? That Sanctuary bullshit as using it in place of the menu screen was fucking ridiculous. And if that's a bloody genius game designer, then Christ. But he's basically said, nobody is as good as me. I've never met anyone as good as me. People are just no good at it. Now, people have given him a lot of stick, and rightly so, for being an arrogant, pompous fuckhead. And yeah, he's an arrogant, pompous fuckhead. Because if he just kept himself out of it, they said, you know what, not many people really specialised in game design. People tend to fall into the role, and it shows, because it shows that it's really not their passion. We need more passionate game designers. Say that! Not, I'm fucking brilliant, everyone else sucks. That makes you a dick, Lord fucking British. Suck my fucking arse, you dickhole. Oh, somebody got themselves a Late in the Month nomination for the Dickhead of the Month award. Congratulations. You are definitely in the running. Speaking of which, Gearbox. After the Colonial Marines arse raping that they've had. Jesus, that game being so badly torn apart. They've come out and they've said that they're standing behind and they're supporting their product. You know what? This is a time where you go, wow, we really wanted to make something that deserved the fan service, and we're so sorry people feel let down. Not, we stand behind this. We like the little dancing aliens dancing into walls and the retarded AI, and the game that clearly wasn't designed from the ground up to be co-op like Borderlands was, and the fact that you didn't develop a lot of it. Oh no. Gearbox are standing behind the quality of their product. I'm sorry, you may have enjoyed Colonial Marines, but you cannot deny that that game was not all the quality Gearbox could have put into it. There's a 4 gig patch, for fuck's sake, on the PC. 4 gig patch. For somebody who grew up, my first PC ran Windows 3.1, the idea of a patch for a game being that blows my fucking mind. Granted, that's just me being an old man and not being in perspective, but 4 gig. If you can't put your patch on a CD, on a DVD, you shouldn't be doing it. Christ almighty. Right. This is a cavalcade of cunts today. This has been in the news in the last few weeks. The developers of Remember Me, the Capcom, I suppose, Cyberpunk Assassin's Creed game, that is probably not going to set the world on fire, but it's a interesting mix of bits. Anyway, they felt that it was important to have a female protagonist, and why the fuck not have a female protagonist? I'm sure most of you will agree. Some protagonists work better as male, some as female, depending on the story, depending on the type of thing you want to tell. And no, I don't mean a protagonist has to be vulnerable to be a woman. That's shit. That is absolute shit. We can have gender equality, and if there's no general characteristic that fits one gender particularly, maybe toss a coin. Do we really need any more shaven head, grizzled white guys walking slowly towards a camera holding a gun on the front of our box art? Can we have a bit interesting, please? Just a bit? Please? To stop Anita Sarkeesian being more of a bell end, can we just have that, please? Because I don't give a shit who is the protagonist of the game as long as the character is solid. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't care if it's a disabled hermaphrodite. If the game is good, I can engage with the protagonist. Anyway, that is what I think most people seem to think. Now, unfortunately, people who work in fucking marketing in the gaming industry are such clueless. Now, if you've worked in the industry, in business in general, and you've worked with commercial people, then you'll probably know that a lot of commercial people are proper bros. They're like Eiffel Towering a hooker sort of bros. They're pop-collar fuckwits with a suit on. Most of them are. They are pretentious fucking twats. I deal with them regularly. They make my fucking arse itch. They are annoying tossbags. Now, these people seem to think that people don't want female protagonists. Now, they've looked at data, and they've said that the data suggests that games with female protagonists don't sell as well. Okay, let me just put that out there. Just off the top of my head, okay? Just games we've mentioned today. Sleeping Dogs, male protagonist. What was it, 1.7 million units? I'm not going to go back and check, but yeah, just over... No, 1.8 million units. Tomb Raider, 3.6 million units. I mean, they don't fucking sell. Of course they sell. There's not enough variety in protagonists to just go, what we need is some more shaven-headed bros. We don't need that. Variety is good. Variety in storytelling, variety in gameplay, variety in the industry is good. This fucking homogenous... Jesus, we're just literally homogenous. If you look at the reimagining or the how characters are progressing, you can't tell the difference. You can tell the difference between Robin from Batman Arkham City and Commander fucking Shepard. Or Cole from... They're all the fucking same. They all look the fucking same. That is not... It's retarded. Anyway, apparently that's what we want. That's what we're looking for. Well, personally, I'm going to say, are we fuck? The original Resident Evil? Hands up anybody who played Jill Valentine's campaign more than Chris Redfield's. I know I fucking did. And I didn't feel... Oh, I feel all girly for holding the controller. I should have a pink controller while I'm shooting these fucking zombies. Apparently, though, you can't have a game with a girl in, because then what if they, like, kiss a guy and you can't have... Literally, they said, you can't have them kissing a guy. That's just weird or gross. Or literally, they sounded like fucking kids. These are the people making... This is why the industry is fucked. These clueless cunts are the people in charge. They're the ones who hold the purse strings. They're clueless dipshits. They see what sells, and they've gone, well, what are the biggest selling? Well, Call of Duty's... What do these guys look like? Well, they're all like butch, manly soldier guys. Okay, well, what about that? Other good games that have sold? Gears of War sold a lot. Yeah, what are they like? Oh, they're all like burly guys. Okay. What about superheroes? Oh, well, do you know what? The Catwoman game didn't sell very well, but Arkham Asylum, that sold really well. So, I mean, look at those two. I mean, they're from the same universe. I mean, they've got to be the same quality of game, haven't they? Fuck a duck. You people are fucking toxic. We don't want the industry. People don't want anybody who picks up a game, looks at the front cover and goes, "Oh, I don't want to be that person." Jesus. By that logic, no one played Fat Princess. Who played Abe's Odyssey? Look at him, he's fucking ugly and green. Who wants to be that? Jesus fucking Christ. You seem to have the same attitude that the sort of parents and religious groups who say, but you're in the game and you are that person. You're not that fucking person. You're engaging in a game. You're playing in the game. Who your avatar is fucking unimportant. Now, I'm going to turn around and have a look at some of the games I've got. I've moved my room around a bit. And I'm granted the place is going to be a sausage fest because it's game console. But let's have a look here. Just here. Okay. All the Final Fantasy games, granted. Male protagonist, female protagonist. Yeah, mostly male protagonists here. Oh, Mass Effect. Yeah, that's... Look at these. Most of these games. Bayonetta, notably female protagonist. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Resident Evil 1. Code Veronica X. Resident Evil 3. When some of your most dynamic and forward-thinking companies are Capcom, you need to reassess. All of these companies who turned this game down, remember, it looks fine. Might not be incredible. Cyberpunk Assassin's Creed, but, the concept sells. I can't even begin to say how much you people are tossbags. Okay, some good news. Those of you who are fans of your strategy. XCOM Enemy Unknown. Now that was a bit glitchy, but a surprising hit after XCOM was announced to be an FPS, and then they did release granted, not as amazing as the original game, but a proper XCOM game. Alien vs. Human asymmetrical strategy. Good stuff. Now, apparently the full experience, now they haven't said what that is yet, is coming to iOS. So, people don't need... I don't know how they're going to slim this down, because this was a full disc release. But they're saying that on iOS, optimised for... I think it's mostly going to be optimised for iPads. And, so... That's... And, you know, as that kind of strategic game, touchscreen will probably work quite well with it. But that is coming to iOS. So that's potentially some good news. See them actually make it, rather than doing some cheapy shit time. Apparently, full experience. So whether it's the full game, I don't know. Right, want to cover some DLC briefly. There's 2 games. One of them was announced a while ago, but with THQ, it's now been re-announced and it's all over the place as of this afternoon. Assassin's Creed 4. Now we all know Assassin's Creed 4, big in the press, but with Peter being twats about the whale hunting. Now, those of you who are aware with Ubisoft, they like their special editions. Now, there's very few special editions that they do that I like. I actually have the Far Cry 3 special edition, and I like that. Comes in a little pouch, has a little survival guide, didn't cost very much more, and I got my little bobblehead vase, which is nice. But for the most part, the Assassin's Creed ones, fucking hell, they're ridiculously expensive. So, speaking of ridiculously expensive, there are going to be, in Europe, I don't know how about the rest of the world, but in Europe they have announced 4 additional versions of Assassin's Creed 4. So your standard, which is presumably going to be what happens after a launch. And then they're going to have a special edition, the Skull Edition, the Buccaneer Edition, and the Black Chest Edition. Get fucked. Get fucked, Ubisoft. So, the Black Chest Edition, you can only buy from the Uplay store, figures. And it comes with a 55 centimetres. Those of you who don't know that, that would be... What is that? That is nearly 2 feet tall. Yeah. 1'10". Captain James Edward Kenway, so 55 centimetre model of him. On the bow of the ship. I don't know whether it's going to be, you know, a bit Titanic-y. Who knows? Also, parchment of the game's old world map, a real-life replica of the Black Flag, a steelbook copy of the game, which includes an art book, a soundtrack, 2 lithographs, 2 canvas prints, unspecified additional in-game content, fucking DLC, and in a special custom box. Buccaneer Edition, exclusive to Game in the UK and GameStop in Ireland, contains the figure, art book, soundtrack, lithographs, collector's box, and additional content. Skull Edition, fucking hell, which is available across all participating retailers, includes jumbo steel case alongside the art book, soundtrack, in-game content, 2 lithographs. The RRP has not been mentioned. Of course it hasn't, because it's going to be about £89.99. Fucking Ubisoft. I reckon this Black Chest Edition, I'll keep an eye on it because I reckon it's going to be the first game to breach the £100 mark in the UK. That's what I reckon anyway. Also, Special Edition, which contains exclusive content, only available through Game and Extra Vision in Ireland, and available at standard RRP for everyone who pre-orders the game, and promises additional content at launch. Ubisoft, get fucked. Your game is going to fucking sell. Assassin's Creed is a massive game. It's not COD big, but it's fucking big. It's really big. Okay? And you releasing 1 title every year is getting a bit fucking jarring anyway. Releasing ridiculously big editions with big fuck-off statues. 4 versions? 4. 4 special editions. You fucking assholes. Now, also, one that's even worse, because with this one, you take it or leave it. Do you want your statue and your little pictures? Fine. Now, Metro Last Life, which was going to be published by THQ, which is now no longer, I think it's Silverlight? Deep Silver, Silverlight. Deep Silver. They have announced that they are definitely putting in this pre-order DLC pack that I didn't report on before, but it was something that was in the news a while ago. What that is basically means a hard mode, the hardest game mode. No HUD. You get killed really quickly. Enemies need more bullet sponges. That game mode, the hardest game mode, is only available for pre-order. Now that's fucking shit. Because mostly, the most hardcore gamers, I would say, are probably not the people who pre-order your game. You're trying to force people to pre-order your game to get the full experience. That's not even an extra gun, that's a fucking mode. That's the actual hardcore mode in the game. Some people live by hardcore mode. Personally, I've never been one in it. I normally get my ass kicked by hardcore mode, so I don't tend to put a lot of time in it. A lot of people, however, hardcore mode is what the game is about. And you're going to only give it to them, or presumably you'll sell it to them as DLC somewhere down the line. Fuck you, Deep Silver. You should have learned. You bought a property off THQ who went under for stupid fucking practices. One of those practices was promising this stupid fucking DLC mode. You've looked at it, you've looked at the death of the company that you bought a few bits while you were rifling through their pockets, and you've gone, do you know what? That's a stupid fucking idea. One of the many stupid fucking ideas that killed the company off. Let's do that because customers must fucking love it. You people are out of fucking control with your fucking DLC practices. You are out of fucking control. Right. Bit of interesting news. The Ouya. Apparently there's already... Now, those of you... Again, I'm going to recap those who don't know what the Ouya is. The Ouya is a small Android console. So based on an Android operating system. I think it's Jelly Bean it's going to run off. It's out with dev kits. It's open source. So much like an Android phone, it's not... The content's just... You can upload your you can submit your content. It's not really vetted, so it's going to be a big open source thing. Console's going to be $99 or £99. I think an extra $40 and £40 because they don't know what exchange rates are for some fucking reason. Gives you an extra controller. Seems quite promising until I reported a while ago that they're going to release a new one every year because they're Apple for some fucking reason. They must think they're Apple. They think they can just release another Ouya with a slightly different sized case. Maybe. But what are you going to do? No, it's got slightly higher power. Higher power. Fuck you. If you're doing one every year, it actually works out cheaper to buy a new fucking major console. That's how fucking stupid you are. Anyway, they've announced that emulators for the SNES and the NES are going to be available at launch on the Ouya. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be an interesting copyright issue because you know how bad those companies hate piracy. How are they going to feel when an open source console with illegal emulation of their games is going to be available? It's going to be an interesting one to watch because I think the legal fallout is going to get really fucking messy. Like Napster messy. It could get that bad. Okay, some good news and some bad news from Capcom. Most of you probably already know this, but I'm really excited. DuckTales. DuckTales game. I loved playing the DuckTales game as a kid. Those of you who don't know what DuckTales is, check out DuckTales. DuckTales was awesome. It was a Disney cartoon. And Scrooge McDuck, Huey, Dewey and Louie. They're just great. I loved it. Loved that game. Really good platformer. Really solid platformer. Played it. One of the most played games I think I played at the time. Superb game. They've announced they're remastering it. There's a trailer. It looks nice. They've even got the full voice cast to do it, reprising the role. The guy who does the voice of Scrooge McDuck is now 93 years old, and he's reprising his role. So this is and it's coming this summer. Downloadable game. A nice little treat from Capcom. Actually, quite glad you did that, Capcom. It's a time where you're not twats. Now, just because I feel all dirty saying nice things about you, I'm now going to have to just remind everybody what stupid cunts you actually are, because there was an announcement at PAX East. At PAX East, now Brett Elston, which I originally was confused with the guy who wrote American Psycho. Bret Easton Ellis, by the way. Not him. So he basically said that they're not ready to announce, but there would be a new game in the ever-popular Mega Man series. It's in development. But the publisher's not ready to announce it. Okay. And then they came out, during the same event, came out and basically said, oh, yeah, we're just discussing stuff. We're not going to announce anything. Yeah, we'll announce something if there's something to announce, but we're not announcing anything. There is no Mega Man game. So, yeah, thanks, Capcom. Thanks again for teasing. Now, I'm not the world's biggest Mega Man fan. I played Mega Man and I enjoyed it. My life isn't missing something because there's no Mega Man game. I'd play a Mega Man game. If Capcom weren't twats, I would play a Mega Man game. They're good classic games. Yeah, why do you keep fucking about? You've got loads of fans who just... How much does it cost to make a Mega Man game? Really? I mean, just to develop it, release it on Steam, release it on Xbox Live Arcade, release it on the PSN, just watch the money roll in. Release it for mobile devices. I know you're releasing the old Mega Man games on handhelds, which is nice, but, you know, the best thing you've done for fan service is release a fan-made game for free. Mega Man X Street Fighter, which a lot of reviews tore apart because, well, it was a fan game. That was your big announcement. We've taken someone's fan work. How would that work? How would that work if someone said, right, we're gonna do the next Star Wars. Well, you might as well say this. But the next Star Wars, we're not actually going to get a professional writer. We're not going to get someone who actually works for Disney, contracted to Disney. What we're going to do is we're going to go online and we're going to find some fan fiction and we're going to film that instead. That's kind of what you did. In fact, not even that. It would be like Sega going for the Sonic film on YouTube, which is a good fun film. Like taking that, putting it in a DVD box and selling it as their fucking marvellous, look, everything's resolved about Sonic. Will you love us again? We've just done this film. You've just taken someone else's work, which was done out of enjoyment and love of the IP, and you're milking it for good fucking press. Fuck you. Actually, fuck you. Just make a fucking Mega Man game. How hard and how much is it going to cost to just knock out a Mega Man game? The investment involved in it. Literally. Just a 2D, hand-drawn platformer with Mega Man in it. You don't need to make that many levels. It's a really fucking easy thing to do. The mechanics are all there. I mean, granted, you can't come up with any more stupid fucking names than Sheep Man or Hard Man. Oh, man. Ah, so funny. Fuck me, Capcom. Sort it out and just give your fans what they fucking want. And your fans want a Mega Man game. Stop being a cock and give them a fucking Mega Man game. You bunch of prick-teasing wankers. Anyway, you've been looking through the 2020 vision of the Anarchic guy, and I'll catch you guys later.